we'll kind of have
Yep.
Brendan Giles. So Brendan's the founder of a really great company in New York called Athena Intelligence. He's also my really great friend. We've kind of seen him on these conferences talking about Gen AI and LLMs. He's built something really special out here in New York, and we're really excited to kind of have him share more about what he's working on.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. So for today, we're going to try to do a live demo. We'll see how we do Friday at 7 p.m. And then instead of doing maybe a deep dive on like some heavy use cases in platform, what we wanted to do today is maybe show the different form factors that we're thinking about in the AI space. So I'll start by sharing, and we'll walk through a few of these. A little bit about myself and the company Athena. We're about 2 years old. Prior to this, I spent about 4.5 years with Palantir doing defense intelligence and healthcare workflows in the Middle East and as well as in DC. Here today with Anton, one of our lead engineers. Um, Athena is a enterprise analytics platform. It's got a similar feel to Structured probably. The problem we're solving is the ability to interact with data isn't always best through a SQL notebook or through a chat interface like ChatGPT. So today we're going to look at what are some of those other form factors, starting with one of our workflows, which is in Spaces. Spaces to us is quite similar to a whiteboard-like experience. If people are familiar with Miro, of course, we'll have to get some demo reloads here going. So briefly, before we jump in, I want to just highlight the 4 different form factors that I want to talk about today. The first one is going to be chat, which everyone's probably used to. Second one is reports, which also kind of has like a very close to heart feel. This is, your Google Docs, your Notions of the world. Some of the newer ones that we're noticing are notebooks, specifically Jupyter notebooks, which a number of people have seen, like probably Hex or Deep Note, a bunch of really good tech that's out there. And then the last one, which we'll start with today actually, is going to be Spaces, which is our whiteboard style experience, which I'm demoing here now. One of the ways that we kind of think about this problem slightly different is in the same way that you're able to interact with all of your primitives. Primitives to us are things like documents, data sets, queries, charts, either generated within our system or imported, as well as your conversations, reports, your Jupyter notebooks. How can we provide an environment where people can not only ask natural language questions of the data, but also like think about this in a more multimodal way, where in this occurrence, we're actually having the system look at not only the underlying query and data, but also the output of this graph. It's going to perform like a light analysis for us. We can take this analysis, copy it down, ask for some more information, or more interestingly, open it up in another one of our form factors that we're going to talk about today. One classic workflow we see is someone has a PDF with a bunch of table data in it, and they want to be able to just simply transcribe that. One of these simple workflows today, takes you 30 minutes. You're going to fat finger one or two of these in the process. So we're going to optimize a lot of those by just simply giving you that interface to run that query. I can save this as CSV, copy it down, or upload it directly in the system. The last one that I want to highlight is, kind of already showed it here, is being able to directly draw on some of these items and say something along the lines of this: pull data for this region and help recommend some reasons why we see a dip. So hopefully now you're starting to realize kind of like the different ways you're able to interact with a data analytics platform outside of your typical form factors. As it's loading, I'll just kind of quickly pull back. Everything that we're going to look at today, one of the things I like to mention is some of the collaboration features. So if everyone wants to pull their phone out or a tablet or on their desktop, you can go to the link that Anton's going to share. And we're actually going to have everyone kind of jump into a public report. And I'll actually save the analysis that just got created. and we'll jump over to kind of form factor number 2. I'm going to open up one of these collaborative reports, and as people start jumping in, we should be able to see, again, similarly, the ability to query that data, pull in the information, but also have the ability to finish some of the analytical tasks in line using some of these AI assisted features. Simple autocomplete is just a nice to have. Some of the core differences that you'll notice with not only notebooks, but also the spaces and reporting workflows are these are all based on the LLM that either a customer brings or that they choose for us to bring on their behalf. To highlight a few of these form factors, models, I'll quickly open our chat UI. This is a more typical UI most folks are used to. So I won't go through a super in-depth demo today, but just to briefly highlight some of the features that we're going to see. Everything from your charting and analysis workflows, again, connected to all the tools that make sense for the company, as well as the knowledge base of relevant information and an internal model, an on-prem model for our models. Finally, if we inspect any of these elements, we can see the underlying execution log of how it came up to the answer, everything from the SQL queries it ran to the Python code that's potentially being sandboxed and run, depending on what is the type of execution permissions that Athena has been granted. We're deployed today with companies and enterprises such as Anheuser-Busch, working on a whole slew of workflows. We're going to note a couple of them here in the form of tasks. And we don't have enough time today, but there's a whole suite of data tools and data science tools that we can really spend a lot of time digging into. Lastly, before we go, I'll just quickly flash the notebooks-like environment. And again, that same primitive of your reports, your documents, your data sets, your analyses, passing that through a whiteboard, a report, a chat, or a notebook are all accessible in this final workflow. And not only are they accessible, but what you'll notice here is all of these features, again, have an Athena kind of flavor to it where she's able to help generate code, write code, bring in information, such as some of the reporting workflows that we have called out here. This is everything we actually just demoed is now like publicly available. So for the first time this week, we're now sending it out there for the rest of the world. So please feel free to jump in, give it a try right now, and let us know if you have any questions. And hopefully we got a couple more people sneaking into our reports as we finish.